What is up, everyone? Rowie Plays here. Welcome to the very first episode of my podcast. Um, been kind of thinking of a few titles for it, like for months, and even the beginning of last year when I first started the channel, the YouTube channel, I had an idea to do a podcast of, basically a Wednesday rant where I'd take 10 minutes out of every Wednesday and would rant on shit that pissed me off. There can be a lot of that very easily. So for better or for worse, without further ado, that's what we're going to call this one. For now, this podcast is exclusively available on my Patreon page. So that's going to kind of take away from it a little bit, I understand, but I am going to promote the shit out of this thing. And the ideas between this could vary between things in the media that have pissed me off, that have been on my mind, things that have more filming, the photography side of the Rory Plays brand. There's a whole bunch of things going forward with it, and what I could draw inspiration from as far as the episodes could just very well be bits and pieces from just anything over the week. Now, I want to try to make this weekly. For now, it'll be monthly, I feel. Just because, trying to figure out something that's going to piss me off week to week, and then finding time to do it, along with my filming schedule, photography schedule, the whole lot encompassed into one. I'm still new to trying to encapsulate all three into one hit. Obviously, as you knew, advertising last year wasn't a big thing for me. I wasn't very successful at doing it. As a matter of fact, I just barely ever friggin' advertised. It was frustrating, and I think has dipped my awareness, or dipped the level of how aware people are of this channel. So, being that the Patreon is new, I'm going to try to work on that one as much as possible. Like I said, I may go forward to actually making this a more constant thing. But this will be, I would say, every Wednesday. I'll try to have this up and have this available. Like I said, the Patreon, if you're watching this, it's only $5 a month. It's not that much. And that also comes with everything else that's kind of encapsulated in the bronze package. And that is the weekly weigh-in video photographs of my weight loss journey. Any side quest missions I do for any of the games that I do on the main channel. I may eventually do some cosplay or something like that. But that'll probably be in a higher tier. I don't know. We're going to kind of see how things go. I also kind of want to encapsulate like a first-hand contact basis where I try to just broaden out and get to know people. It's not much, but it's something I'm trying. I think $5 is more than enough. And I wouldn't think a higher tier is needed, so we'll just stick with the bronze tier for now, and maybe eventually we name it the tier. But let's get on to it. So the current date for me in Australia is the 4th of February. Just yesterday, or the day before, sorry, I pre-ordered my copy of Hogwarts Legacy through Epic Games. So I'm going all digital, all on PC. Hopefully there's connectability so that I can use my Xbox control or something like that. Not 100% great on keys, and for an RPG, I don't think keys would make much sense, but If I need to learn, I need to learn. Not a big of a deal. With that being said, there's a lot of backlash coming from it. Now, I don't know the full story of exactly what was said when it comes to J.K. Rowling, but honestly, all of the, like, I know it was transphobic in nature from what I've been told. All of the hate and just absolute shit being lumped on this game makes entirely no motherfucking sense. This is what, by the way, this is why this is a paid service, because I very heavily try not to swear as much as possible on the channel. Shit comes out, it slides. In future, that will be edited out as much as possible. Here, it's just me. None of this is edited in any way. This will be half an hour of just me. Okay, you will get me as raw as possible. So nothing will be edited. If there are F-bombs and C-bombs, I mean, that's who I am naturally. These words come naturally to me. They fly. I don't say them in, if I meet up with friends, okay, they're going to fly. If I meet up with a work colleague, these words aren't going to be said anywhere near as often. If I'm in a business meeting, they don't get said at all. So, but for this is me, as raw as they come. So 100% of this is just, it is what it is. You either love it or you hate it. Neither issue is an issue to me. So if you like it, great. If you hate it, great. You're entitled to your opinion. Pick one. But back to the game in hand. All the shit that's being lumped on this game. I mean, I'm sorry. People who are just like, oh, if I see you buying this game, I'm going to block you. If you buy this game, you're supporting transphobia. Or you're supporting, hatred towards the trans community. No, I'm motherfucking not. Okay? I grew up, I read the books, didn't care who the author was. It's not like I turned around and went, Stephen King, fucking Kathy Reich. Oh, J.K. Rowling, I'll buy that one. No, honestly didn't give a shit. The cover was cool. That was it. But, when I first started reading, there were 4 of them by that point. Someone had turned around going, hey, you like fantasy, try this. So I jumped on, I gave it a go. I don't care who the author is. I still don't. So, I mean, my preference in as far as reading literature are, musicians' autobiographies. That's my preference. I've tried other genre of autobiographies, like I have the Ronda Rousey one. It's not one I can pick up very often. Just for some reason, the lifestyle changes between a sports star and a musician. They're not the same. Obviously, a musician and musician aren't the same, but I have no care for a sports star. It's just, I'll watch the movie when it comes out. I'll do the same for the musician, but it is what it is. Just, then it gets me. But when it comes to fantasy books that I do read, the Harry Potter series was amazing. It got to me at a very young age. So, I've very much grown up with this series in my life. Was there a point in time where I thought, hey, maybe me and the author would be cool? Yeah. I wanted a signed copy of a book. I didn't give a shit who the author was. Honestly, you could have gotten a homeless bum down the street to turn around and go, hey, pretend you're the author of this book. I'd have still given the guy $25 for a signature. I wouldn't have cared if it was the right person or not. What he had to do was convince me. Fuck, I was 10. Getting off track. But yeah, that's just it. I didn't care. It wasn't a big deal to me. And coming now, it's like all the hate, like I said, is being lumped on this game. I'm not supporting hate towards like the trans community. I just simply, that's not a thing that I'm going to care about when I play the game. I'm all for trans rights. Honestly, there shouldn't be trans rights. There shouldn't be gay rights. They should just be rights. Okay? Gay, straight, trans, fucking half alien. Who cares? You're a person. Be a fucking person. Like, it's not that hard. You know, you have all these people in the world that are friggin' hating on everyone. They're absolutely shitting on everyone. And then you've got people, and I'm going to liken you to the vegans. Get over it. This is my podcast, not yours. You are turning around and throwing your agenda down people's throats. Obviously not all of you. I get that. But, you know, fucking walking into a room with a trans person is like walking into a fucking restaurant with a vegan. You are going to hear all about their lifestyle, and if you bring up another subject, it's going to fucking change back. Okay, I don't care. Okay, if we were mates as Barry, we're going to be mates as Beryl. I don't give a shit. If we grew up watching fucking sports or playing video games or just fucking walking on the beach as Barry and Steve, we're going to do the same thing as Beryl and Steve. I don't give a shit. I really don't. Like, yes, you're going to find different... You're going to be more confident in your body now, but, you know, if you were born a man, you want to be a woman, be a woman. Okay? I am still going to fucking support you 100%. But I'm not going to stand there if you turn around going, hey, what do you think of my tits? They're yours, make fun, have fun, go, do your thing. You know? I mean, I've had friends in the past that it's like, you know, they've had boob jobs. I'm like, hey, what do you think of them? I'm like, I didn't care before. I don't care now. You know, I would be the same if it was a guy friend of mine who had transitioned into a woman. And they're trying, you know, they've gone through the process, they've developed upper body. And, you know, if they turn around and be like, hey, what do you think of them? And be like, oh, I'm a father of 3, okay? They're not they're not a highlight to me. Yeah, I've said for years, I don't care about your looks. Okay, you could be fucking fat, skinny, anorexic, fucking twice the size of an average human. That one might make it a little bit harder to physically be with you. But that's just because of you've got a lot of health problems, obviously. I don't drive. I can't help you in any way. But nothing about, you know, your physical appearance should ever matter. It's like you get all these people who are just like, you know, models, fucking bodybuilders. You know, and like these two people generally go together. It's like, oh my God, look at him, look at his muscles, I want him. But a big fat guy walks in the room and be like, oh, hey Craig. They don't give a shit. They don't see you as an attractive person because the media doesn't see you as an attractive person. So that's the issue. It's like back in the day, it's like the media fucking turned around and went, hey, look, you know, you need to be like a size 10 or a size 8 to be seen as attractive. So all you plus size women who, yes, you've now been labeled as plus size, that's how you decide what kind of woman you are. You don't get to become a woman anymore. And it's the same for men. There is no longer just men. Okay, there is either bodybuilders or plus size men. I mean, there's an average slot in the middle, but that's just it. There are no men and women anymore. Okay, what you used to be has kind of changed. The media has turned it in that way. And a lot of, especially now, I mean, you got people walking around with cell phones in their hands 24/7. That's how they grow up. You send them to school, that's fine. But you're not getting the return. It's like, you know, you buy a TV, you want it for 6-7 years, and you're like, fuck, I got my money's worth out of that. Nice, done. You send your kid to school for fucking 12. And you're like, little fuck's thicker than he was when he went into school in the first place. Haven't learned anything. They're learning it through a cell phone, through social media. That's why they get everything woefully wrong. You know, so I had my kid hit me up the other day. It's like, oh, did you know that? And I mean, there's a lot that they learn on there that they don't know it's racist until they say it. But it's like something about like, you know, did you know that black men are more susceptible to cancer, or a lot more black men die of cancer? And I was like, no, they don't. It's like, you look at it and it's like they fucking die. Everyone dies of the same thing. You know, cancer doesn't turn around and you're like, oh, black, white. No. Cancer just goes, oh, healthy cells. Don't like that. Let's get rid of them. And it is unfortunately the same with a lot of things. The media has raised you to be this thick moron of, you know, a fucking shell of who you used to be when you were growing up. You know, I would say I graduated school in 2006. I would say that it started back at like 05, 04 at earliest. You know, media's always been there, and it's like, for as long as I can think of growing up, media's always said, you know, you must be thin to be worth it. You know, if you are not of a certain weight limit, don't even open your fucking mouth. And for as long as I can think, that's pissed me off, because you've always had those little cliques. So like I went to, you know, grade 7, went back to my home school, you know, went back to my hometown, went back to the school that I went to on and off whenever we were back in the area. And I was friends with damn near everyone in my grade. I had a bedwetting issue back then, so I lost a few friends when we went on school camp, but that was because she was a math little bitch and decided she wanted to be the asshole of the group. So that's when it starts. These days you hit primary school and it starts. And so, okay, it started back in like 02. But she decided she was going to be the mean girl of the entire school. And yeah, it got to me a bit, but I grew out of it, so I stopped caring. So for years, like, you know, we went to high school the next year. We seemed to go to the same high school. She was like, oh, you're the bedwetter. I'm like, yeah. Clap, clap, you have a memory. Get fucked. You're also a cunt that flashed everyone for fucking years. Like, when they joke around, it's like, oh, you're the town bike. Like, no, she actually was. She got around. I mean, I'm sure she's a lovely person now that she's, you know, gotten out of school and, you know, woken the fuck up and realized that who she was as a person back then isn't something to be proud of. It's not. You see a lot of kids doing it these days and you're like, oh, that person's fucking stupid. I'm going to berate the hell out of them. They're not. You just haven't given them time because you don't want to, because they're different. So, but, you know, I was friends with everyone in primary school. We got to high school, everyone went to their different cliques. I wasn't as friend with a single person I went to school with in primary school. Sorry, I lie. I was a friend with one person, and I stuck with him even up until now, and he gets married in a week. Unfortunately, won't be able to make it to that because, you know, he's married in Fiji. I'm in Australia. And it was kind of a short notice thing. So, mate, if you do ever watch this, my full love and support to this man. I'm glad to see you happy again. It means the world to me to see my mates happy, especially you, as you are my oldest friend in the world. Do apologize for not being able to make it, but we will smash together a few ideas later on and celebrate it in our own little way. But that was like, you know, you get that. You might get that rarity, or you'll have a friend that, you know, you kind of distance from for a while. And I mean, me and him were the same. You know, he definitely stuck with... He stuck with a group that at the time I knew as the Fobs. Like, this seemed to be... Everyone got their own little name. Like, I was in what I thought was the Scene Kids. He was with what was collectively called the Fob, or just Fob Kids, which I ended up finding out were like, you know, New Zealanders or Islanders and stuff like that. Which I didn't realize he was Fijian. I thought for years he was, you know, I thought his dad had Aboriginal in him. Turns out, no, his dad was white as they come and his mother was Fijian. I thought Aboriginal Philippines. Don't know where I got that from. But so when he said, Fijian, I was like, oh, the fuck? Look, I'll admit I was an asshole back then. I probably just didn't pay attention once I hit high school. But we're still mates to this day. We don't have a lot of contact, unfortunately. A lot less than I would like. But we got there. We made it through to the end. And like I said, he is going to be happily married very soon. But, you get to a point in your life where you change who you are, who you want to be. Who I was at that age in school was an asshole who wanted to be what America would call SWAT, and I believe in Australia we still call it CERT. So I think it's Special Emergency Response Team. I think in America they call it Special Weapons and Tactics. Like I said, I'm in Australia, they're in America. I don't know the difference 100%, but I know that basically they were the same job. But that's what we call them in Australia. So I wanted to do that. Don't know where it came from, but for some reason, that's what I wanted to do. I have a history of epilepsy. I don't believe it affects me anymore. It might. But because of that and the fact that I didn't believe I would be able to hide that, and it's illegal to lie, that really shut down that line. It also took out firefighter, which was a close second. And then for years, I decided I'll try being a chef. Because when I was 17, we'd started me on an apprenticeship that we unfortunately had to stop after 6 months. I didn't know that I could take my apprenticeship and go somewhere else because the business I was with closed down. Didn't know I could go somewhere else. So we canned it. We took me off the apprenticeship, and I didn't finish it. And for the next 16 years, that was what I tried chasing, thinking that's what I wanted in life. I think I just wanted to see myself finish something. It wasn't often that I did. So for years, it was a case of find a kitchen job. They're not offering apprenticeships. That's fine. They will pay my way, and I will go to university or TAFE. And I will go to a culinary school and all this, and I will do it on my time. To which my last 3 spots all turned around and be like, oh yeah, we can work with that. We can do the work here. One out of those 3 spots was truthful. I think the idea was honestly to push that forward after their head chef was certified. The rest of them were just hollow words. But enough about that. We have 7 minutes left. Kind of grinding down. Honestly, the most of this rant was based on how much the idea of the Hogwarts Legacy game and all the backlash that the trans community are throwing onto it kind of pissed me off. Look, down the very bottom of it, it's a game. The game's not going to hurt anyone. There's nothing in the game saying that you can't be something else. Fuck, one of the most popular spells, not most popular spells, but one spell that one of the professors teaches is Transfiguration, the art of changing becoming an animal. The second movie is based around them using something called a polyjuice potion, which is the art of them changing their appearance from one person to another, changing who they are. If J.K. Rowling was so hell-bent, or just the Harry Potter universe itself was so hell-bent on being transphobic, these would not be elements of the story. Now, I honestly think that Avalanche and WB Games would be wise to not put those elements in the game to avoid arguments, but at the same time, if they don't have them in the game, brings on arguments because, you can turn around and be like, oh, why not make it available? But if you make it available and be like, oh, you're a hypocrite. Once an argument is pulled out, there is no winning. You're never on the right side. You may think you are. But you're never on the right side. There's always someone else out there that contradicts you, who thinks that you're wrong or you're a bigot or you're an asshole altogether. And that is just not the case. But that is how people think. That is how people are always going to react. And unfortunately, yeah, that's just, it is what it is. It's not going to change anytime soon. At least I don't believe it ever will. But you know, who knows? Maybe given time, people will wake the fuck up and realize that there was no point to these arguments. There was no point to complaining. There was no point to all this hate and absurd bullshit that was lumped on a video game. Now, I'm sure if you look back, you go through the list of devs or beta testers, there are trans people in there. And I guarantee they all still fully support J.K. Rowling. Well, not all of them, but some of them. Who, from what I have recently heard, isn't against transphobia, just had a fucked up point made once. So, like I said, she created this universe. Transfiguration, polyjuice potions, they're in there. They literally contradict if she did hate this concept. Or, being trans isn't a concept, but, it... See what I mean? Can't be on the right side, because whatever I'm about to say is going to fuck people up. There is no right or wrong way to this situation. There's no way out of it where you come across as the better person. But with that being said, just wake the fuck up. Realize at the end, this isn't an argument that really matters. Bullshit like world peace, that matters. For years you've had fucking Israel and Syria going up against each other. Yeah, I get it. You come from different religions. All religion is the same. It is a messenger trying to get his message to the people. But you didn't get the message because you weren't listening. Who cares who the messenger is? Listen to the message. It is the same thing with this situation. Like a video game developer is putting out a game. Someone else is putting out a game. They're both games, but did you enjoy it in the end of the day? It's like the Halo versus Call of Duty war years back. They're both warfare games. Made no sense to pick a side. But I know it's a couple minutes shy of when I said, but hopefully this little bit of a rattle brings it off. So that is the very first episode of The Rant. That's what I'm going to call it. Like I said, hopefully we can start doing this weekly. Monthly is when I have the plans for it so far. But weekly would be better because I can get pissed off within a week. Then a month, I can stop caring. And that's 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks where I can get over it and there's a new problem. That will be the podcast for now. Later on, I do want to do a podcast with my mates. Very similar to this, we'll just be talking about shit going on in the world and probably video games because we're fucking nerds. But that's it. So, obviously, if you're watching this, you have joined the Patreon. I will leave links on there to everything else that I am a part of, whether it be my YouTube channel or my Twitch streams. Join the Discord as well. There'll be a special page for The Rant in there. If you can get behind this, awesome. If you've got a topic you think might piss me off, hey, fucking fuel for the fire. Make the episodes longer if you want. That's all for me this time. Thank you for tuning in. And hopefully I can make more of these more regularly. And hopefully something you enjoy. Bye.